So with that, we're going to jump right into the first section. And it's another form of an icebreaker, but also a way to kind of share with each other what really you have experienced as individuals and as managers in the past. What I'd like you to do is to write down on a piece of paper. You can start putting it in the notebook, because I'm going to be asking about 5 of you to come up to the flip chart and actually summarize this. What's the best customer experience that you have had at any time? It could have been when you were a kid, it could have been yesterday. It could have been an online experience or something offline, retail, walk-up, whatever. It could be something that's in person, it could be an automated solution, it could be in any industry, it could even be in your own company if you think it represents a great experience. Something that really made you walk away or made you react with some sort of a wow. Tom Peters, with whom I worked a long time ago at McKinsey, used to have this book out called The Pursuit of Wow. And it's a nice little paperback book, and the whole idea is if you can get customers to walk away from some sort of interaction or some sort of a lack of need for interaction and say, wow, that was really good. That exceeded my expectations. That's really something that impressed me. That's what we're looking for from this. So write down 1 or 2, whatever it is. What do you think are the best examples? Name the company. You don't have to go through a lot of detail, but just think about what was a great experience that you had. And once you've written down 1 or 2 or whatever that number is, if you can maybe think about a worst experience that you've had, one that you love to tell your friends and your partners and spouses and so forth, this was just horrible. I can't believe they made me do this. This was just an awful, I can't believe that I had to go through this example or that this didn't work for me. So maybe a couple of best examples, 1 or 2, any number of worst cases. And when I see a few heads popping back up, I'm going to start asking for some volunteers, and Doug will help you, and we're going to wind up putting these up on the flip chart. So just take another couple minutes sort of sorting through what you think some experiences are. Do I have a volunteer to come up first to talk about best experiences? We're just going to write up a few names, that's all. Okay, please.
So, everybody knows this company. It is now the only place I shop, and it's because of this one experience. So to me, Nordstrom's is like, for the men in the room, Home Depot, whatever. The experience was my husband came home at 5 o'clock and said he had an event that started at 8, and it was a formal attire, and there was a certain amount of dress code and a certain color scheme and blah, blah, blah. And I had 1 hour to go try to put something together. So I headed to Nordstrom. Ladies, typical thing if you ever walk into Nordstrom, you're just looking through the racks, and then somebody will come to you and say, hey, can I help you? And I just turned and I dumped on her. And I go, here's my situation. The next thing I knew, there were literally 5 sales guys, women and men, running up and down all the floors, literally giving me outfits, shoes, accessories, everything. In 1 hour, I had a complete outfit, and I walked out the door. It was a little expensive, but I had what I needed, and they were totally there to see that I had everything that I need. And at the end, they said, if any of this doesn't work, please bring it back. So that's one. The second one was I bought a suit. I wore it several times. Some things went wrong with it. I came back, and this was like 3 months after wearing the suit. And I said, here's my issue. And they go, no, we'll just replace it. Just give it to us, and we'll totally replace it. Gave me a brand new suit that was even different for a like value, and it was great. So that's a company that from now on, that's where I go. I'll buy stuff, I'll walk out of the store, I'll buy it online, I'll have it shipped to me, and I won't even try it on because I know whatever I do, if I take it back, they'll replace it. It's just an unbelievable way that they interact with customers and make everything as easy for you as possible. So that's my good story.
Anybody else also had Nordstrom on their list? Just curious. Yep, 1, 2. We always run across Nordstrom as a really high number.
What happened was bought a vacuum cleaner there, right? And used it for probably about 9 months, and it sort of starts seizing up and just stopped working. And it wouldn't have the box anymore or anything. It was essentially a used vacuum that you sort of wheeled in there and was looking to get a replacement, and just took it over to Costco. Didn't have a receipt, anything. And they simply got to their cash register and started giving the money back, essentially. Full refund on the vacuum, and obviously you could buy a new one or whatever. But I was very, surprised and delighted to see that. So Costco is one of my favorites.
Right. I'll just point out, just for parenthesis, that both Nordstrom and Costco are headquartered in Seattle. So just I mean, not that we're forming any great patterns so far, but I know Doug is drawing some implications here. So and that's where I live too. So.
People may remember when compact fluorescent light bulbs came out a while ago, and so I was into that, and I got a bunch. They happened to be GE brand. I got them at a local hardware store or something, and a couple of them burnt out. And, you know, on the back of the package it says 1-800-GE. So I give them a ring. General Electric, okay? General Electric's a pretty large company. I'm expecting to get IVR, press 1 for this. I get, on the first ring, a woman answers immediately, "Hi, General Electric, can I help you?" I go, yeah, I live in New Hampshire. I have this light bulb. It burnt out. Oh, we'll send you a new one right away. Well, actually, it was a couple. Oh, why don't I send you 3? No receipt, no in the package. Do you have to have the old one? Nope. What's your address? I'm really sorry about this. I'll send you a coupon if you like the product. And if there's a problem, call us right back. That's it. Simple story.
So what I like about this one, and actually all 4 of them are beginning to form the same pattern, and Doug's beginning to summarize this, is that they're doing things without you even asking for it. It's almost anticipating what you're not even asking for. And we're going to come back to that as really a powerful message and a customer satisfying issue later on. How about a couple of worst case examples? Oh boy, this always brings them back table. Doug, if you can pass it back. All right, let's start with the first bad case.
Well, for about 5 or 6 years, ending about this time 3 years ago, we used Comcast at home for both internet and television. And about this time 3 years ago, my wife and I were both had businesses that we ran from home, so internet connection was required. We just couldn't live without it. We were having a problem with television reception. The guy comes out, he messes around with it, he fixes it, he walks out the door, and I have this brain flash that says, I hope he didn't break anything else while he fixed that. So I run in on my browser. I don't have an internet connection. I'm literally running out the front door of my house, chasing him down the street. I see him making the corner, and I can't catch up with him. So I get on the phone and call. It's 2 days before someone can come out. So, okay, we'll live for that long. We, spent the next 2 days up at Starbucks. And so there, and it's the typical between 1 and 5 on the second day. So it gets to be 5 o'clock and nobody has showed up. I start calling. And I'm on the phone on hold and 3 or 4 different calls. By 8 o'clock that night, I finally get the apology that says, well, I'm sorry we missed you, but there is no requeuing. There is no, your first thing tomorrow. You're starting over. And our next available time is 3 days from now. Okay, so long story short, we go an entire week without internet service. Number one, because they broke something while they were at our house. Then number 2, because of the queuing time and it just the idea that I missed a commitment doesn't put me at the top of the queue for the next day. That doesn't work in their world. So at that time, AT&T was just rolling out their UVerse service in our neighborhood. So until then, I didn't have a choice. As soon as I had a choice, we were on UVerse within about 2 weeks, and Comcast lost a customer. So that's my bad story.
So 2 quick reactions, and you maybe are feeling the same thing. Number 1, it goes right exactly the opposite of what Scott mentioned in the beginning, and we'll come back to this a lot. Multiple contacts for the same issue. The objective is to have 0 contacts for an issue, meaning no issues. But here, multiple contacts per issue. The second one is, how many of you around the room are now rethinking whether you want to use Comcast as a result of that? Exactly.
I was in Pueblo, Mexico, training on Volkswagen engineers. And the fan started going bad on me. Clack, 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 and it was for the CPU. Now, we all know when the CPU doesn't have air to cool it down, what happens? It burns out. Well, I need that system. That runs half the world. So, go online, try to find the part. Actually, get back in town, I can't find a part. I go to the people who I purchased it from. They said, you need to go to HP. So I go on HP online, parts order store. So you go online and order the part. I find the part. It's available. So I'm like, yippee. Purchase the part. Says it's going to arrive in 2 to 3 business days. Happily put my credit card down. No part. So I call them up. So where's my part? Well, it's in the process of being shipped because, yes, we do have it because they have to purchase it from somebody else. They have like a warehouse. And then it goes into the shipping department. Then it gets shipped out. Well, come to find out, their database wasn't updated. So another week goes by. Clack, 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 clack. I'm freaking out. Or I'm going to have to get another PC. And I don't have time because then we all have to transfer data, yada, 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 yada. And our Outlook, as we all know, is huge. So I call them up again and said, where is it? They said, well, it's still in transition. Now, okay, I've given up. I've contacted some other company to get the part. Now, here's where the difficulty came in. I said, well, listen, I'd like to just cancel the order, get my money back, and we'll be done, right? Real simple. Well, we can't actually do that. We have to actually process the part, and it has to come to you. Then you have to return it, then you get credited back. I go, are you freaking out of your mind? And that's exactly the process. After all that, finally they gave me the box to ship it back. Then I got credited after 2 weeks. So, would I ever order on parts online? Not unless you can make a phone call and individually talk to that person.
The objective we've got in doing this and sort of starting off this way is that these experiences color your expectations for customer service no matter where you go next. By the same token, when your customers, whether they are distributors or whether they're end users, when they're experiencing something out there in the real world, meaning their everyday world, they're going to be examples like the ones we've gone through here, both the good and the bad cases. And those will be clouding or setting expectations about how they deal with you and your companies, whether you're building software, doing project management software, advertising solutions, all the variety of things that you guys do around the room here. And so the everyday experiences that we have, that your customers have, are the ones that are really setting the expectations. It's not necessarily direct competitive examples. It's really what we call the last contact. The last contact sets the benchmarking or expectations. And that's something a lot of companies kind of forget about. They think about, well, let's compare our performance against our 5 main competitors in this industry, which is a somewhat useful exercise, but pretty antiseptic. It's pretty artificial. What's real and what's true is what your customers are experiencing right up to the moment before they have some issue with you. Something breaks, there's a confusion, they need to get a refund, they need to figure out what's going on. They need to then, what they'll do is they'll say, well, I just got this done right by Dell or Nordstrom or Costco or GE. Why can't you do it this way? And it's like some of them may even express it that literally. And if they don't express it that literally, it's still in their feeling. It's still part of what they're feeling. And the reason we're going into this is that we could go into a lot of examples for the next day and a half about B2B interactions and technology-based companies and software-based companies, which are exactly relevant to what you do. But we're going to do more of a broader sweep across different types of industries, including B2C, including online and other ones, because that's really forming the experiences that customers are having when they're dealing with your businesses as well.